everyone, it's Liam Caddison here, and we're watching Once Upon a Time as we jump into episode 9 of this season. Looking forward to seeing what we're going to be encountering in this episode, especially since the last episode was really fascinating, looking at Rumpelstiltskin's past and how he was this loving father figure who wasn't the insane creep that we have been accustomed to in the fairy tale version of events. Yeah, we saw how he fell into that darkness, as well as what was happening in Storybrooke with the situation in terms of replacing Sheriff Graham with that election going on. Yeah, we know that Emma came out on top. So it was a really, really good episode last time around. Excited to see what happens in this episode. So with that said, let's jump into Once Upon a Time, episode 9 of season 1. Let's go.
Don't think I didn't see you rob me. Open your bag.
I didn't take anything.
He didn't take the comic. Unless he planted something.
And a liar, too.
What?
That's why you were talking to me. So your brother could put that stuff in there. Father! Father!
Woo! Okay, unhand them.
Must I remind you that genetics mean nothing? You're not his mother, and it's all taken care of.
I'm here because I'm the sheriff.
Oh, that's right. Go on, do your job.
She's
Take
so
care of those miscreants.
accustomed to trying to throw her under the bus.
The number they gave me was disconnected.
Such a sad and moving story. Guards. Seize them.
No empathy. Oh, nice one, Gretel. Nice. Ooh, no, that's cheating.
Why'd you guys lie to me?
Ooh.
Where are your parents?
We don't have any.
There we go. And they weren't exactly lying about having to having the inability to afford it.
Do you know these families get paid for these kids, and as soon as they're too much work, they get tossed out and it all starts over again.
She knows how it feels.
Like all the ones I was in. What, we're just gonna adopt them? I want to look for their father. They don't know him.
She wants to give them a chance.
And you think if he knows, he'll want them?
Storybrooke has a foster system?
No, but I've contacted the state.
This really is
Maine's
difficult.
group homes, unfortunately, are filled, but they put us in touch with 2 homes in Boston. A boys' home and a girls'.
They'll be separate.
separated?
No. And
I
is it
don't
a good
like it
idea
either.
for them to leave
But we've got no
Storybrooke?
choice. You need to have them in Boston tonight.
Me?
Well, you wanted to be sheriff. This is
Oh.
what sheriffs do. No matter what you do, no matter how you're tempted, don't eat anything.
You know, I would be really, really screwed in their position. Just saying. Oh, look how tasty that is. No, Liam?
I tried to contact him,
But he wouldn't.
and I
Oh.
found out that he died saving a family from a burning apartment.
Oh.
So, you think I'm a savior?
That's heartbreaking.
He was. Your father was a real hero. Or anything of his you've held on to.
I
I
might
do
have
like how
something.
these stories do parallel
If I
with
give it to
Emma's.
you, you'll make sure we stay together, right?
Right.
So you can't separate them. Is it the yeah. Oh no, don't. Hansel. Hansel! Uh-oh.
I do keep quite extensive records. Yes.
Please.
Here we are.
What's your price?
Forgiveness.
Ah.
How about tolerance?
Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay.
Actually, it is.
I'm sorry, but Dory, she wasn't my, it was just once.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
I met her when I was
And they need you. And if you choose not to take them, you are going to have to answer for that every day of your life. And sooner or later, when they find you, because believe me,
Better
they will
to
find you.
take that responsibility than to live in that regret
You're gonna have to
and
answer to them.
guilt.
I'm really sorry, I am. I don't know.
Look, you told Henry the truth, that his father's dead and he's handling it great.
I didn't tell him the truth.
Oh, it's
His
parallels.
father was no hero, and trust me, he does not need to know the real story.
Oh.
Maybe we can hide the kids just until we can find.
He was a jerk, wasn't he?
Yes, hiding the 12-year-olds is a good plan.
Succulent roast you'll make.
No! 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 Creepy.
Gretel, she's gonna cook me. We gotta do something quick.
Does look familiar.
When she opens.
Oh no! That's great.
Gravy or butter? Gravy or butter?
Neva?
How
Oh
should I baste you?
Oh yeah, it is time to cook.
Gretel, lock her in. Let me out!
I'm sure that's Sanya from Buffy.
Come back right now! Let me out!
I would have gone gravy.
Brutal but fair.
You did it.
Oh. The apple.
You've got a strong heart, girl. You remind me of myself at your age.
He would never abandon us. And even if he did, we would never want to live with someone as terrible as you.
Gretel.
Is that so?
Yes. We're going to find him.
Love
with
the
or without
fire
him.
in her.
And when we do, we're going to prove you wrong.
Everything. Whatever their hearts desired. And they still chose uncertainty because of their blind faith in you.
Because they love their father.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing better.
Why
Nope.
did your children refuse me?
Because we're a family. And family always finds one another.
This is gonna be scary. Oh no, I am scared for them in this iteration.
Look.
I was just as scared. More, probably. But once I saw him, I got to know him. I couldn't go back.
Scary at first, but once you take that first step through the door, you'll be hooked and you'll never want to leave their side. Again, regret. You'll...
You don't.
Woo!
Sent me to this world to save them.
Oh. And who does he think they are?
Well, for one, you.
Oh!
Snow White.
Oh!
Apparently that book you gave him
So
has
close.
exactly the stories in the most...
I'll leave you leftovers. What a pretty blanket.
Thanks. Good night.
Oh, we are on the cusp. I'm feeling that cusp so much. Oh, it's kind of frustrating. Wait, no,
Hey,
Hey,
no.
is this story?
I didn't catch your name.
That's because I didn't give it.
Polite. Is he the father?
I thought you said strangers don't come to Storybook.
They don't.
Then who is this? If this guy isn't... I mean, she did say that Henry's father didn't die, that the whole thing was fabricated, and it seems to insinuate there's a much more harsher truth there. But so, if he isn't Henry's father, then who is he? Especially with the fact that strangers don't come to Storybrooke. Unless he's... Well, then again, Henry would recognize if he was like a fairy tale character. Oh my goodness. My main theory at the minute is he is Henry's father. I mean, you could say that Emma should have recognized him, but I don't know. That's the only kicker about that theory, is Emma didn't recognize him, and she should have. So I just had a quick little look, and that was Anya who was... Because she did look familiar, and I was a bit convinced that sounded like Anya from Buffy when she said certain lines. Otherwise, she was absolutely creepy. But yeah, it was great to see Anya in this episode. Woo! Because she's my favorite character. Well, one of my favorite characters of Buffy. Yeah, I really liked how we delved into other characters in this episode. It was really good to look at Hansel and Gretel's story, and how there was similarities between the whole father aspect and Hansel and Gretel to Emma's story, and how she grew up, and there was that difficulty in raising the children with Mike, and how Emma had those similar sentiments, and she found that strength, of course. She's fighting for Henry, and yeah, it was really, really, it really sucked, like, emotionally, because of the fact that these kids, well, they couldn't leave Storybrooke, and thankfully the car gave out before it was on its way out to Storybrooke, from Storybrooke, should I say. But yeah, there was the prospect that they would be separated, and you can't do that, really, especially if they're like a team. So, and they've shown time and again, like throughout this episode, that they were, not just in Storybrooke, but the fairy tale version of events. So, yeah, I'm glad that he did, that he was convinced, seeing them two. And I think that was the validation that he needed. He needed to look at his kids with his own eyes, and have that acceptance, and, you know, understand that, yeah, it might be difficult, but it is worth it at the end of the day. And as Emma said, there will be that guilt when they are older, and, you've had this opportunity, but you discarded it, and now he's found that strength. He's found that if I don't take this opportunity, then I'm just, going to become a bad person. And so he finally had that opportunity, and he's given it a shot. So thank goodness. I am wondering if, yeah, I think that is what happened with Hansel and Gretel. They were trying to find their father, and they couldn't in the fairy tale world. They weren't able to. Thus, when the curse kicked in, they weren't living with their father. They were living with with themselves, of course, in that very rundown house. And it is very heartbreaking to see the Queen go for those extreme measures, but I feel like there is that want with children, as well as the fact that they wanted to find their father, and there's a bit of sympathy there, because I don't know how long it's been since the Queen killed her father. Although I don't know, would she still be alive at this? Yeah, he would still be alive at this point, wouldn't he? Because this was after uh, the prince and Snow White got married, and this was all for the curse, the curse that would cause everything. So, discount the father thing. I think it's the aspect that, you know, she would want her own flesh and blood one day, and this is the perfect opportunity. Have them live here, and there we go. So, yeah. It was really, it's a tempting offer to live in the castle, but yeah, it was full of temptation, like the house. Very, very tasty, even though it's like CGI. I'm guessing very, very tasty still. Yeah, it was very creepy. Seeing the witch, Emma doing a really, really good job. Playing amazing characters, but yeah, she was very, very creepy, especially with the gravy and butter comment, and yeah, just how, like, she didn't have much, I feel, but she's still impressed, especially with how sinister she was to Hansel and Gretel. So yeah, I really, really liked them infiltrating the house, and I really loved how that tied into the whole Snow White plot. The thing that she needed was the poison apple, so which of course makes sense, being in a house made entirely edible. I'm wondering if the windows are edible and whatnot, but that's besides the point. In a house of edibles, it makes sense, but I really love how it ties into Snow White and how she bites into the apple, and of course, yeah, we know the rest, and how Hansel and Gretel accidentally helped contribute in that. So, again, what this show does really well is tie in, in a really, really well done fashion, is tie in other fairy tale stories to another, so it create, so it doesn't feel like they're their own, like, separate stories, if you get what I mean. They are all intertwined, and it really, really is magical. So I really, really liked that. I am wondering who that guy is, though, that showed up at the very end. Like I said, my hunch is that he is. My main riding hunch, no pun intended, is that, well, he's Sheriff Graham's replacement. Too soon? Too soon? He's like the Walmart version of Sheriff Graham. No, I do want to say that he is the father, but like I said, Emma's lack of recognition says otherwise. It's just when Emma gave that, like, story about how Henry's father died being a hero, and then she confirmed that it was all a lie, seemingly indicating that there's some more heartbreaking story, like he ditched. He bailed out, and it wouldn't be surprising, considering Mike didn't want any part in raising the kids, and yeah, that is what would have happened. To Emma's side of things, kind of parallels things up, but I feel like that is where it was going. I mean, it could go into a darker direction, but yeah, lack of recognition seems to indicate that he isn't Henry's father, but there could be some kind of memory situation that might have impacted Em. I don't know. Maybe with her arriving in Storybrooke, it's kind of like had her mind in a bit of a, yeah, kerfuffle. But yeah, like I said, I think the lack of recognition until, like, so far, I do want to say that he is the father, but I don't think so at the same time, because of the lack of recognition. like, I am stumped on who else it could be, though, because as Henry said, no stranger is supposed to enter here, and the only reason Emma is because of because of the fact that she's special. So it seems to indicate that this guy might be like an original character. I don't know, because the only other theory that I have in mind is the fact that he is Henry's father, but Emma's lack of recognition, unless there's a reason behind it. Yeah, so he's got an interesting box as well. We had an interesting look-see. Unless he's one of the knights, you never know. He's the Queen's best knight. I don't know. But he did have a very interesting box on his bike, and I'm wondering how that's going to play into a factor. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, it was really interesting, this story, like I said, going into Hansel and Gretel's story and how Emma has those parallels. Yeah, it was really great. I really loved how this episode went by, and then there was that semi kind of revelation about Emma to Snow, or to Mary Margaret, should I say, regarding the fact that mother and daughter. So it's like, yeah, I was frustrated because she doesn't know, and I can't blame her, but it's like, I just want her to know. So yeah. And there was also that little interesting bit regarding Mr. Gold as well, when she was trying to inquire information regarding Ava and Nicholas's father. Yeah. And I really liked how that continued from the last episode. He wants forgiveness regarding, what happened in the last episode. But also there was a very interesting thing about the fact that he gave away. He knew who the father was, but there was nothing written on the thing, which, gives that little bit of that impression that he knows a bit regarding the fairy tale world. There's a little how much he knows is beyond me, but again, we've been speculating since I think it was episode 2 when he confronted Regina in the night in her back garden. There was that impression that he knows a bit more than regarding the curse and whatnot. So it seems like that is the case with the fact that the card was blank, but he knew who the father was. So yeah, and he continued, even in small doses with Mr. Gold, he still continues to intrigue me. So I really feel like that's interesting. But yeah, a really great episode of Once Upon a Time. Like I said, it was great to see some new characters, and it was really heartbreaking with their, living condition and whatnot. But it was very great to see their story come to life, and yeah, intriguing as well with the ending with that guy who is a complete mystery to Henry. So, unless, I don't know, maybe because, well, I still think he might be an original character, but I was just thinking maybe with the curse, weakening, maybe that's allowing people to know it's Storybrooke. I have no idea, but yeah. At the minute, I can only speculate because, of course, we don't have any affirmation on who he is, but we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, great episode of Once. Loved it. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check out my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!